Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. You're watching CTV. My name is Calandra and I'm back with another video. And before I begin this video, I don't know if I'm gonna leave these glasses on the whole time. They look really cute in my outfit, but like you can see a lot of reflections, so I'm not sure. But yeah,
subscribe to my channel, you're whack.
You know what? She's just whack.
Just be watching my shit, y'all don't subscribe, y'all don't comment.
But today I want to talk about a very adult topic. So I'm gonna try to keep it as PG as possible. So you little grown ass kids can get off this video right now because this ain't for you. But if you want to keep watching, that's on you. But I'm gonna be talking about some stuff in this video. So I'm gonna try to use my words correctly because you know how YouTube can be. But I feel like this is a very important topic for most adults, whether you're single or in a relationship. I want to tackle this topic because I used to work at an adult store selling adult gifts, and a lot of people can be very opinionated on that type of industry, so I want to just kind of talk a little bit about it. I don't know, I think I'm gonna take them off. But anyway, let me get to the video. So because I used to work at one of those type of stores, I think it's very important to hear my opinion. Like, do I think, you know, using adult gifts are necessary for your intimate life, whether, you know what I'm saying, whatever your relationship status is? Do I think it helps with anything? Do I think it helps you like learn your body and stuff like that? Like, I'm gonna get into that in this video. I'm kind of 50-50 with it. Like, I can see why people use them, but I can see why they're really not necessary. And I'm gonna get into my full opinion as to why, you know, I'm opposed to it and why I'm with it. Like, yeah, I see it from different perspectives. This is why I think, you know, they can do a lot for you. And when I'm talking about adult gifts, I mean lubricant, I mean toys, I mean kink stuff, all of that. YouTube is going to probably flag me for saying these things, but you know, I had to kind of break it down because there's so many different products that you can use. So for couples, I see how it can be necessary because when you're with somebody for a really long time, years and years and years, I've been in a relationship for years. Like, I've been with my husband for 6 years now, okay? So I know how after a while things can get very repetitive and boring. Like, you're doing the same thing, like y'all used to each other. So after a while, that excitement, it kind of like dies down. And that happens for like any long relationship. That can happen, okay? So that's why people, you know, add gifts to the situation or gifts to the relationship or to the bedroom because they want to make things more fun. They want to try new things, and it's nothing wrong with that. And it's a way to experience something new without going outside of the relationship, which is why I'm all for it. And I'm all for it because it's like going into one of these stores, there are so many options of things you can try. And it doesn't have to be the most extreme. Because honestly, any little thing can boost your intimate life. It doesn't have to be gifts. It doesn't have to be anything. Like, it could be something small from like changing different, like trying different positions you haven't tried before, or going on a vacation, or doing it somewhere that's different. Like, you know, that's just not the stereotypical place, like location, you know, any type of thing like can like increase that spark. But if y'all want to get into adult gifts, I'm all for it. However, I think it's something that you should definitely communicate on and be on the same page about, because going into one can make things kind of awkward and uncomfortable for couples. And, you know, a lot of times when I was at work, I would experience a lot of lack of communication, and couples will sometimes argue, or, you know, there'll be that one person that's all for everything and want to try new things and is open-minded, and then there's the person that is not willing to try anything, and makes the experience, you know, bad for bad for the relationship, but also bad for the employee, because it's just something I can't really break a barrier in. I can try, but I also don't want to go past your boundaries. My job is just to work there and provide the best experience that I can. So that's why, I'm for it, but go into the situation with an open mind and communicate. It can lead you to a whole different world of exploration, especially going inside certain stores. I worked in a huge store, so there's like so many things that you could try. Some stores are not as big and don't have as much varieties, but the store I worked at was like a huge 2-story type store. And it can be even little things like lingerie and stuff like that. Like, y'all don't even have to indulge in the machine. Y'all don't even have to really indulge into the machines. Like, y'all could do stuff like pheromone sprays or anything like that. And we even have adult education books. Like, y'all could educate yourselves on certain things that y'all may not know about. And that's why I'm all for it, because it can make things so exciting, and there's so many new things you can try, which is why I think for couples that are open-minded and that are willing to explore that life, you have a lot to explore and experience. And coming into the job that I used to work at, I didn't know that it was so many things that you can try. I'm trying not to say too much, but I did not know like that industry was so like, what's the word? Advanced. Like advanced, okay? Another positive thing that can do to impact a couple is, for one, if you're getting older, right? Once you get older, your body is not going to do what it used to do. So for older people, they may need to do things to enhance certain things, and I'm all for it when it comes to that, because it really does help people who are at an older age to go a little bit longer, to increase lubrication and all types of other things. So that's why I'm also all for it. Now, if you are using them by yourself, here's why I'm for it. You could even be in a relationship. A lot of people come into the store because they're probably in a military type relationship, or a relationship where the significant other can go out of town. And like I said, like doing stuff like that, it can prevent, people from going outside of the relationship. It can prevent infidelity and stuff like that. Because some people literally leave their spouse or significant other for a really long time, like months, especially military. Like, you could leave your partner for months, and people get urges. It's natural, and it happens. People get urges, so it makes it a way to kind of explore their urges. Even if it's not like the full experience, they can still explore their urges without cheating on their partner. And that's why I'm all for it as well. They even have it to where like certain items have apps to where y'all could like use it through a phone. Like, y'all could talk to each other through the phone while one person is using the device. Hopefully that makes sense. But they even have stuff like that, so it can make things spicy even if they're not around. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can either, use it as a thing where, like I said, you can use some devices where you can communicate through the app while you're using the device, which those are pretty expensive, but worth it in my opinion. Or you could just get something for yourself, like for solo use when they're not around. Either or, I feel like it's a healthy way to still have your intimacy. So now I'm going to talk about the people who are completely single, okay? You don't have any partners or have partners here and there, like you're single, right? So I think it's useful to have an adult gift if you want to explore your body, what you like and what you don't like, without involving another person. And a lot of times when it comes to intimacy, it's good to know what you like and what you don't like. That way when you do involve another person, you know what to tell them, you know how to communicate your needs and stuff like that, to make it easier and to make it pleasurable. So that's why, I'm all for it for solo use. And you can use them even if you never did the deed before. So it really just depends. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are, because involving people these days is just so risky. Okay, there's people who, like, it just prevents so much heartache, so much unnecessary bullshit that comes with another person, especially the wrong person. You know, you could prevent so much more diseases from spreading, because people nowadays are reckless. They're just doing whatever, whoever, and don't have a care in the world, okay? So it is okay. That's why I'm all for it, because it's like, you can learn your body. You can learn your body and don't have to worry about the heartbreak. You don't have to worry about catching diseases. The STD rate is high in the United States. The STD rate is just going up, okay? And people don't want to get tested nowadays, and people lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when it comes to your body, it's like, nobody should be playing with your body. Like, no, like, that's your temple at the end of the day. And letting anybody just come up in there, you know, you could catch disease, soul ties, attachments, heartbreak, and then pregnancies, like unexpected, unwanted pregnancies. You could prevent that. And I'm all for preventing unwanted pregnancies, because that's a whole nother life you're involved in. And I could talk about that in another video, but like, that's just a whole nother can of worms, okay? And I'm all for, you know, not having any kids until you and that partner is ready to have kids, or y'all know y'all both want to have kids, right? So that's why I'm all for it, you know, if you're single and you want to just still experience pleasure. Now I'm going to talk about the cons of using adult gifts and why it can be very toxic and detrimental to your intimate life. So let me go ahead and get into it. So the cons of using adult gifts, especially if you're somebody who is using it for solo play and you don't really indulge in the act with other people, or even if you do, but you just don't do it a lot. I would say a con of using these type of products is, for one, not enough education and buying the wrong products. That's why I feel like if you're using these type of products, do a lot of research and about chemicals that may be in certain products or material is very important. And if you're using machines, I'm gonna just say machines. If you're using machines, girl, boy, whatever, silicone is the way to go. Please get silicone. Cheaper materials can harbor a lot of bacteria. It can make it coarse, and with harboring a lot of bacteria, that can lead to infections and even worse. So that's why it's important, if you're going to start, you know, involving those type of items into your life, please do research and please listen to your sales associate. A few materials you want to avoid is TPE and TPR. I remember that. But those are the two materials that harbor bacteria and you want to avoid. Other ways you can misuse your products is overcharging. Don't charge it like a cell phone. It's not a cell phone. Only charge it for like an hour or two. And also, people that just don't clean their stuff, like, that's weird. Clean it before and after use, okay? So yeah, those are, you know, a couple of basics, but I'm gonna talk about the real cons of why it's detrimental to your intimate life to rely on products for your pleasure all the time. So when using the machines, you don't want to rely too much on that machine for all your pleasure, because when you're finally involved with another person, it may not feel, you know, the same. It may not feel, you know, you may not feel the pleasure that you're supposed to feel from that person, because you're so used to how the machines feel. And, you know, that can be detrimental to your intimate life, especially, you know, if you're indulging in the act of somebody you really care about, or somebody, you know, you really like, and you just don't feel it, you know, you don't feel what you're supposed to feel from that person, and you're comparing them to an object, that's a problem. not to mention the amount of money it takes to really invest in a good product. It is very expensive, very costly. So I did want to throw that in there, which is why I feel like you don't want to overuse adult gifts, and you don't want to rely on adult gifts for pleasure for like the rest of your life. But everybody's different, and I'm not gonna tell you not to if that's what you want to do, because like I said, if you don't want to involve other people and you just want to pleasure yourself for you're celibate or whatever, that's fine. Like, that's fine. But I'm just talking about for people who are looking to have partners in the future and stuff like that. It's just very important to remember, like, those are just machines, and you don't want to rely on that, because like the experience with a real person, there's nothing that can top that. Like, even in my opinion, there's nothing that can top the experience of a person. I think with those objects, it just kind of gets straight to the point, and I feel like it's missing a good 50% of what the experience is like with a person. So with couples, like I said, for solo use, you don't want to be too dependent on adult gifts to add something to your intimate life. And like I said in the beginning, it's very important that you and your partner talk about what it is that you need from your partner when y'all are indulging in the act, and what you're lacking, what you want to add to it and stuff like that. Like, be very specific and intentional, because coming into a store like that and without like certain communication about what, especially if you are serious about buying something and you're not just looking around, like you're actually serious, and y'all don't talk about certain things, it can not only make it awkward when you come into the store, but it can also really like dim your relationship as well. Like, it can be detrimental to your physical life and your relationship, because it could cause a lot of insecurities and stuff like that. And let me just go ahead and get into it. I feel like when it comes to relationships, when you're using these products, are y'all really like there? Like, are y'all really connecting? Do y'all really feel like it's doing something for y'all? Or are y'all really depending on the product to just get off and be done with it, instead of really using that time to connect with your partner and, to reach a certain level of intimacy with your partner? Is it drifting you guys apart, or is it pulling y'all together? Because a lot of people, they do it just to say that they're doing it, and just to say that they're pleasing their partner. They have their intimate time every night, but they're not really into it, which it can happen, and it can happen with or without adult products. It just depends on like what level are you at, like where are you at in your relationship and your intimate life, and how do y'all view sex. And everybody has their views on it, and it's important that your views match, because nowadays the adult industry, like the sex industry or sex right now, I just feel like it's a lot of misconceptions, and it's a lot of things portrayed from the media to make it very toxic and fake and just unenjoyable. For one, everything is over sexualized, which makes it not as sacred as it should be. Like, people are just very open about it, which to a certain extent, like, yes, be open, but like people that are just too open and just giving out information about their sex life that is not asked for, I feel like nowadays a lot of people are doing that. Celebrities are doing that. They're pushing it on our music. They're pushing it on our kids. So yeah, like, it's a lot of opinions that go into it, and like it's a lot of things that go into it, which is why I wanted to make this video, because it's that like a lot of people are doing it for the wrong reasons, or having sex for the wrong reasons, and then using products like that for the wrong reasons. And it's like, I already talked about social media, like how something can be trendy and everybody can buy you know, something just because like everybody else feels like it's a good product. But that's when it comes to intimacy in general, like there's a lot of trends that just get nastier and nastier, and you know, celebrities come out with things that they like to do, and then everybody else tries to make it cool, when it is really honestly none of anybody's business what you do in the bedroom, especially if you're not having intercourse with everybody. Why does it matter how people feel about your sex life? Or like, it could be two people having conversation about intimacy that are not even attracted to each other. Okay, they could be talking about what they do in the bedroom with their partners, right? Person over here is like, we like to do this in the bedroom, right? Have you done that before? And they could be like, no, I haven't done that. I don't have no interest in doing that. Oh, you're lame, you're boring, like you're missing out. And it's just like, that person then feels some type of way because they're looked at as boring to another person who has nothing to do with what they do in the bedroom. And hopefully that makes sense. It's just like, that's what makes it weird to me, because like people, like we're in a society where it's so overly sexualized that nothing is sacred anymore, and nothing is a secret anymore. It's just kind of like everything is so open and vulgar, which even like for me, even with working in a store like that, it's like I was numb to the act in general, because that's just all I saw around me was sex. Like it was just too much at times, and it kind of feels like, ugh, okay, enough of that. And people don't really talk about that. Like people don't really see how that's very unhealthy, especially adult movies, especially. And the fact that people think that it's real is what kills me. Like, of course, yeah, they're doing the act, but it's just like me being a YouTuber, or people making TikToks and all types of content they post on social media, reality shows. What do you think they do? Like, do you think it's just raw, like 100% raw? Like, my videos are kind of raw, but like it's a lot of stuff that I have to do to make the video. Watch a whole video. You have to make edits. You have to enhance something behind the scenes. It's not just raw and uncut unless you go live. So what do you think people do in the adult industry? You think it's real? You think it's 100% real? First of all, let's talk about them damn titles, because sometimes I go on Pornhub just because I'm nosy, like what's on here, like what do people be watching and stuff like that. So like it be stuff like, I just effed my granddad's mama. Like, wait. It be stuff like, I just effed my teacher's daddy. I just effed my sister's boyfriend. Or I just effed my sister. It's just like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. It be some ancestral stuff on that fucking website. Them titles is what kills me. And it's like, there's no way that can be real. They have to say it to catch somebody's attention. And they use certain words to catch your attention. And even when indulging in the act, like, have y'all ever watched like an interview from somebody who's a porn star? Like they have to do stuff behind the scenes to make it seem like, you know, something that's more than what it is, if that makes sense. Like male enhancement or woman enhancement, that's one thing that they use. Like I could just say that. Everything else is just like, I'm not gonna go too much in detail. Just watch an interview or something like that. But there's some things that they do to enhance those movies, okay? And people watch it like it's real, and yes, you can learn from it. Like it's not completely fake, obviously. And you can learn from it and stuff like that, because people do watch it for like educational purposes, or they want to learn something that they can add to their relationship with their partner. So I get why people watch it. However, there are people that are addicted to it and use it as their own way of pleasuring themselves as well. And I don't know. I just feel like it has like it leads to a lot of misconceptions about intimacy, and how the intimate time should look when it's not like that. And people try to imitate these stars, right? And it leads to performative sex. And I'm going to talk about performative sex because performative sex is not something that you want to be doing in the bedroom unless you are one of those people, because they are like porn stars are having performative sex. They're not, there's no passion, there's no love, there's nothing, there's no sacredcy or nothing in that, okay? Performing is just trying to make it seem like you are the best, or that you are trying to just seem like a fantasy, which yes, you want it to seem like that, but like you don't want to fake it either. Like it's like some type of persona that they have to have in the bedroom. And I'm not with the performative stuff because it's very ego driven. Nobody wants to be known as somebody who's bad in bed, okay? That could really just mess up somebody's whole self-esteem, okay? Which I get it, especially men. But I can see why, you know, people participate in performative sex. And my thing is ego driven. It's very ego driven. People participate in performative sex to boost their ego and to be known as a fantasy or just something that everybody desires, which is just unrealistic because not everybody is going to think that you're good in bed, especially if you're a person who is indulging in an act with a lot of people. Like, that's the only reason why I can see why somebody would want to be very performative. But just because somebody else enjoyed the experience with you doesn't mean that somebody else will too. Like, somebody else may not like it. So, I mean, my thing is just enjoy the act. Like, just do it because you want to do it and because, you know, you want to enjoy your experience with the person who you're having it with. And when it comes to intimacy, it's about both people. It's not just about what one person likes, but both people should be getting their pleasure out of the whole experience. That's why, like, with performative sex, like, people who are doing it in relationships are not doing it to truly connect with their partner, or they're doing it to like please their partner, but they leave out their own pleasure just to seem a certain way to their partner. And also with going into these stores, people indulge in these products because they feel like they're not able to please their partner, and that can also make them very insecure. Because imagine you go into a store and it's a man or woman, right? And she's looking at a product that's bigger than her husband, or that has a better motion than what their husband provides, and that can lead to insecurity because it's just like, oh, I'm never going to be that size. So, you know, it just feels like, you know, you're not able to do what you need to do for your partner. Or even with a woman, like, you buy your husband or your boyfriend a pocket punani or something like that, and it does the job for him a little bit quicker than it does with you. You're gonna be like, some people may feel some type of way about it because it's just like, oh, what's wrong with me? And why am I not able to do that for my partner, but a freaking toy does? And that's what that can lead to arguments when people come into the store. And in those scenarios, I think the only way that it can actually work is if, I guess, both partners, whether it's one partner or the other partner, you know, knows that they can't fully please their partner, and learning to be okay with that, and learning to just be like, you know what, if we're going to use this product and if it helps you feel what you need to feel, I'm going to have to just sacrifice my pride and buy this product or use this product, because a lot of people have to do that in order to make it work. It just really depends on your mindset. And I also just think that using products like this is necessary for every couple. Because like I already said, like, different strokes for different folks, technically. But some people could just get away with never using them and be completely fine. Just like me, like, I'm not trying to say too much, but I don't personally use them every time. Most of the time that I get involved in the act with my partner, like most of the time me and my partner are intimate, we don't use them because we just don't really feel the need, and it just kind of kills the mood and makes things a little unnatural. Like imagine if you're already like in the
act of foreplay. I don't know why I couldn't get it out of my mouth, but yeah.
It's kind of hard for most people to stop what they're doing to go grab this item or be like, oh, okay, we're making out, but I'm going to stop right here and get this product. Some people just can't do that, or it just makes it very much planned, and some people just don't want to plan the act. They just do it because that's what they personally feel like they want to do. But it just depends on the person. Like, you know, it's okay to plan it, it's okay to set something up for it, but some people just are in the moment and just do it whenever, and it can make it just seem kind of unnatural, which is why, you know, there are people out there that just don't use them. Even with enhancement products, it's kind of like, okay, you have to take something and at least wait like 30 minutes before it kicks in. So it's like, I want to get into the act, but I'm gonna wait 30 minutes to make sure this honey or this pill kicks in before I start anything. Which, it just depends on if y'all want to wait 30 minutes or if y'all just want to do it right now. It really depends on y'all. Like, it's really up to y'all. But I am weighing out the options as to why I'm 50-50 about it. Why I see why people use them and why I see why people don't use them. And some people, like I said, just feel like I said in the beginning, there are so many things you can do to spice up your relationship with your partner. There's plenty of things you could try. You don't have to necessarily use adult products. And it is what it is. And some people are just comfortable with what they do. Like, some people are just comfortable with the same positions every time. Like, if it does it for you every time, then it's like, if you don't need them, you don't need them. It is what it is. Like, some people can do the same stuff every time they get into the act, and some people can't. Or if you switch it up, like, maybe some people want to just switch it up a little bit here and there, but pretty much comfortable with whatever routine that they do or whatever. Like, some people literally have kinks that, like, one kink that they can do every time and they'll be good. So that's just my opinion. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys, and hopefully this was a good video and a good topic. And if y'all want me to talk about more stuff, I will. Like, there's so many things I could talk about as being an ex-adult store sales associate, or yeah, there's a lot of things I could talk about. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. I think I've been talking for too long. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all later.